Let's meet her.
페이페이 리 교수님 안녕하십니까? 오늘 이렇게 SDF2025 무대를 통해 한국 청중들과
Korean audience through this forum. Could you first of all briefly greet the audience and our viewers, please?
Hi everyone, it's very exciting to be here. Indeed, it's one of my first time facing the Korean audience, and I'm very excited to share with you what I see today's AI is about, the technology, especially in spatial intelligence, as well as human-centered AI.
최근 교수님께서 가장 관심을 갖고 연구하고
Recently,
계신
you're paying a
화두가
great attention to the research on spatial intelligence. It sounds a bit unfamiliar. What is spatial intelligence?
Yeah, of course. If you think about human intelligence, we are actually very complex, intelligent animals. We use language to communicate and reason, and this is what people tend to call it the language intelligence. And when AI can do what humans do, or even better, we call it large language models. Well, similarly, humans can perceive and understand space in very, very profound ways. We not only can interpret the 3D world, we can actually create it using our creativity. We can reason with it. We can move around and interact with it, whether we are painting a beautiful scene or cooking omelets or innovating with the space and with the objects inside. All this requires spatial intelligence. And that is complementary to language intelligence. And that, I think, it's the new frontier of AI. It requires modeling the world, which we call large world models. And it requires the ability to understand, to reason, and to generate different kinds of worlds and to interact with it. So it's a very profound technology that I'm very excited about.
You mentioned that we need large world model. What would happen if we can implement such a model?
That's a great question. In fact, there are many applications that we can use spatial intelligence for. To start with, there's a lot of creative work that humans do that AI and spatial intelligence can help. For example, a lot of visual creators would like to express stories in 3D form or in movies. But it takes a lot of time to create them, whether you're using traditional tools like graphics engine or such as Unreal Engine or Blender, or you're using film and all that. It takes a lot of time to express the human creativity. If we can give humans tools that are a lot more powerful to express their stories and emotions, it'll help creators to do a much better job. So that's creativity. Related design, right? Today's design, especially whether we're talking about architectural design or other kinds of design, humans have to grapple with how we reason about space. And again, AI, spatial intelligence tools can help humans to design a lot better. But beyond these creativity and design applications, spatial intelligence itself is extremely powerful. It can help training robots, for example, to interact and reason within space. And this is another frontier area that we call embodied AI that I think has tremendous application for helping humans from healthcare to manufacturing to many other areas.
네, 그럼 여기서 대한민국
Let
대표
me
AI
then deliver
전문가들에게
questions
받은
from
사전
Korea's
영상
representative
질문
AI
몇 가지
experts.
드리겠습니다.
We received some prior questions. First, the president of the Korea Artificial Intelligence Software Industry Association, Cho Jun-hee, Lee Jae-sung, the CEO of 12 Labs, Baek Jun-ho, the CEO of Furiosa, and Lee Jun-pyo, the CEO of SBVA, are with us. Hello, I am Cho Jun-hee, the president of the Korea Artificial Intelligence Software Industry Association. Professor, you emphasized that high-quality data will be a turning point for technological innovation in the AI development process. How do you think Korea is likely to achieve high-quality manufacturing data usage, and what kind of technical institutional challenges do we have to address?
Yeah, first of all, Korea has been a powerhouse in technology for the past decades. Just speaking personally, I've had wonderful students and colleagues working alongside from Korea in AI. So I'm very, very excited to see that Korea is investing in AI. I totally agree. I think manufacturing is a huge area to grow under today and tomorrow's AI technology. It involves not only language capabilities, but a lot of spatial and embodied AI capabilities. And data is incredibly important. So having high quality manufacturing data is a very important step. Some of the challenges to address, obviously, is how to scale the data, how to close the loop between data and modeling. Having data is great, but applying the data to effective modeling is very, very important. And of course, depending on how the setup is, the more we can lower the barrier of data access, the better it is for many innovators to work with this data. All these are critical issues at both company level as well as national level to figure out.
Korea has grown into an ICT powerhouse and is now seeking a strategy of exporting full-stack AI, integrating AI technology, data, infrastructure, and service to key partner nations. What core principles should we consider for this AI full-stack export model?
I think it's great to hear that Korea has this commitment to become full stack AI model or to also have the desire to partner globally. Indeed, AI is so horizontal, not only from the function, the capability point of view, but it's also horizontal because it's going to impact everyone in the world. So for Korea to play an important role in this global development of AI is really wonderful. One of the things that we have been seeing, especially at Stanford Human Center AI Institute, when we talk to international countries and institutions, is the desire of international partnership, especially organizations and countries that share similar value system, it is so important to establish responsible AI framework to be transparent and respectful of from data sources to model design to application guardrails. All these are important part of this partnership effort. And it's also great to see that the talent exchange, whether it's at the business leader level or students level or engineering level, it's important that global talents get to intermix and exchange the information and knowledge. I personally know that there are multiple Korean companies and many actually, from the bigger ones or like Samsung all the way to startups that are very active on the global stage of AI development. And these are great stories to just great manifestation of Korea's vibrancy in today's AI scene.
교수님 안녕하세요. 12labs
Hello,
이재성입니다.
Professor. It's Lee Jae-sung from 12 Labs. I am thankful for your advice whenever I meet you as one of our shareholders. My question might sound a bit philosophical, but what do you think is the limit of understanding through generation?
It's so great to see Jay again. We have been friends for several years now. It is a great question. Is there limitations of understanding through generation? If you're referring to the limit of generative models, I think there is still quite a bit, right? First of all, in spatial intelligence, we don't really have a great generative model yet. When it comes to spatial, generative model not only has to be semantically, capture the contents of the space, but it has to be geometrically very perfect. If I generate a cup on the table, that cup has to be very well structured in terms of representing the space. And when a person or a robot attempt to interact with the cup, it also has to be quite perfect. A shape should not deform and all that. So we're still at the beginning of that. And to understand the contents of generation, this is also ongoing research. Of course, we have made a lot of progress in the recognition sub-area of computer vision or AI, where given pixels, now AI can recognize if there is a chair, if there is a road, if there is a tree. But there is so much more about understanding that's beyond just semantically knowing the objects. What about what we call affordance, or the function of a object? For example, a large rock. It can be a rock, but sometimes it can become a chair. It also can become building materials. It could even be heated to keep people warm. All these are very deep understandings of the spatial world that doesn't really transpire through pure generation, at least not through today's technology. So philosophically, there is a lot about this world that humans can understand, yet AI is nowhere to be close at that depth and profoundness of understanding.
질문하겠습니다.
Let me ask you another question. In your opinion, what is the ChatGPT moment in the LWM?
That's a great question. I actually think we're not too far, meaning that how do I define this? ChatGPT moment in my opinion, is an application moment of a very powerful large language model called GPT, and specifically it's the GPT 3.5 model. And when a product is developed based on this model in the form of ChatGPT, it became very viral for many users, and from consumers to developers. So the foundation of a ChatGPT moment for a world model there needs to be a very powerful large world model. We're not quite there yet, but we're seeing budding signs. At World Labs, we have been developing a proprietary frontier model that is extremely powerful and was one of the first to demo the generation of 3D space in a way that is on par or sometimes even surpass humans' capability. So productizing upon these powerful models and allowing people to use it successfully would be a ChatGPT moment. Obviously, it's hard to predict yet the virality of a large world model. It depends on the product, how the product is, who it serves, what are the sectors of customers. And I also don't think there should be one ChatGPT moment. World modeling is so vast in terms of the use cases that we might be seeing multiple so-called ChatGPT moments for large world models.
계속해서 질의응답
So we will continue with the Q&A. One of the companies that received the highest attention in AI semiconductor, Furiosa. This is the question from the CEO of Furiosa. Hello, Professor Fei-Fei Li. I am the CEO of Furiosa AI. We develop AI semiconductor chips. Spatial world can be understood more fundamentally by the world model. Compared to the current mainstream text-based LLM models, what is the fundamental difference of large world model in terms of its paradigm?
Yeah, this is a technical question and it's a fun question. Language is a 1D signal. It's a sequential signal. And this is why it's so powerful to develop a model that's sequence to sequence, right? Tokens in, tokens out. But the world is more than 1D. A physical world is 3D. And if you put time, it's 4D. And how do we develop model that is effective in representing and generating these worlds? Do we need explicit 3D representation? Do we use implicit 3D representation? How do we put in data where we don't have too many 3D data and to get 3D output out? All these are incredible technically challenging questions, and it's also exciting. It behooves us to invent new methodology and new architecture to answer these questions.
Currently, large language models require massive amounts of data, both for training and inference. Will the world model you are developing require even more computation than LLMs, or will it be able to operate more efficiently?
That's a great question. World models are still early in the days. Part of the exciting but also the reality of LLMs is that we have seen a scaling law. The scaling law shows as we increase the complexity and parameter numbers of the model, increase the amount of data it ingests, the models became more powerful. And because of that scaling law, it became very demanding in terms of the compute. We are seeing some budding signs of the scaling law in large world model, but this is still early. But it's, yes, the short answer is because the complexity of the data is even richer, we're gonna run into a lot of compute demand. If you take a 4K video at 6 frames per second frame rate, an hour of that is equivalent to hundreds of millions of tokens. In order to generate that amount of data to do inference, to be able to generate that kind of model worlds is going to require a lot of compute. But curiously, so far, all the world models that we know of that has been discussed so far is still smaller than LLMs. And I don't think it's going to stay that way forever. It just shows it's still a very, a much younger field, and we're still exploring. But the short answer is I do believe it's going to be compute intensive.
안녕하세요. SBVA 대표 이준표입니다.
Hello, this is 이준표, CEO of SBVA. Professor, in your view, when do you think ASI, artificial superintelligence, will become possible beyond AGI?
This is a good question, and it's a very philosophical question. It really partially depends on how you define human intelligence. For example, today's AI can translate many different languages, and the number of languages it can translate surpasses pretty much all humans in the world. Most of us, at best, can speak, say, a single-digit number of language, but today's AI can translate tens and tens of different language. So from that point of view, it's already super intelligence. But while today's AI, and I believe as AI becomes more powerful, it can surpass certain human capabilities, does that mean it's universally super intelligence compared to humans? It's not clear, because humans have a different way of understanding the world and intellectualizing and creating ideas and knowledge. And some of that is not well understood. For example, it's, here's an example. Statistically, our video models can already show that apples fall from a tree. But we have yet to see an AI algorithm that can look at these observations, whether it's the movement of stars or movement of nature, and derive the equation F equals ma. And that is an incredible feat of human intelligence that we have no idea how AI can get there yet. And that's just a mathematical or physics intelligence. Humans, every day, you apply our intelligence in profound ways, especially when it comes to emotion, social, and compassion, and many profound intelligence. So I don't know if there's any sign in the horizon to see that level of superintelligence. But when it comes to some tasks, whether it's translation or creating photos or 3D space or knowledge about any existing field that we can get a hold of data, training data on, AI is going to become more and more powerful. And I think it could be a really powerful tool for humans to use.
네, 함께 해주신 각계각층의
Thank you once again to all the experts from various fields for being with us today. Let's continue with the next question. Professor, I understand that you've been advising and collaborating with many Korean companies in the AI field. How would you assess the current level of Korea's AI technology and industry?
I appreciate this question very much, but I also want to be very humble and do not feel I know the entire landscape of Korea's AI scene. I do want to say, as I said earlier, in my entire career, I've worked with many talented people and colleagues and students and engineers and researchers from Korea. It's a wonderful country that has a very strong K-12 education in STEM and engineering and math and physics and computer science. And because of that, and also very strong undergraduate programs. And because of that, I get to work with many graduate students and later engineers coming from Korea. And I also see a very vibrant scene in Korea's AI startup. And every time I talk to my friends and colleagues in Korea, it's clear that the passion and enthusiasm for AI. So I'm very excited to get to know Korea more, understand more of Korea's AI scene.
네, 교수님은 스탠퍼드 대학
Professor, you co-founded the Stanford Institute for Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence, and you've been leading global discussions on AI ethics and social responsibility. You've often emphasized that beyond speed and efficiency, what truly matters is ensuring that AI is designed with humanity at its center. Could you share what human-centered AI means to you?
Great question. I think human-centered AI at the end of the day means a guiding principle of how we should develop AI and govern AI and apply AI. I believe AI is a tool. It's a very powerful tool. It's a tool that can do a lot of good things. Humanity has been creating tools since the beginning of our civilization. Way before humans invented language, written language, humans are inventing tools, whether it's fire or the first stone, axe, knife, and all that. And as we develop our tools, we have learned that they can help us a lot. They can help us to build a civilization. But on the other hand, tools are double-edged sword. They can hurt us. They can be used intentionally to hurt us. They can be used unintentionally to hurt us. So I think when we develop more and more powerful tools, it's very important to put human well-being and the human benevolence in the center of developing, applying, and governing this technology. And that's what I mean by human-centered AI.
네, 그런데 AI와 데이터 자본이
AI and data capital are increasingly concentrated in a few corporations and countries, raising concerns about a new form of inequality. What kind of social or policy approaches do you think are needed to alleviate this imbalance?
It's true that in this current AI age, there is a concentration of resource. And I think this is why I have been always very vocal about policies that incentivize entrepreneurship, that incentivize open source efforts in AI. And I think it's also great that different countries are investing in AI and investing in the infrastructure of AI. I do believe a vibrant ecosystem of AI not only needs powerful big companies, it also critically need entrepreneurs, different groups of people developing different applications. It also needs public sector, from government to higher education to research institutions to nonprofit, that can continue to stay at the forefront of innovating AI and communicating and educating people about AI.
네, 이번엔 사전에 취합할
We've
질문
selected
중에서
one
하나
question from those
골라봤습니다.
we
이
received in
질문은
advance,
저도 많이
and
궁금한데요.
I have to say I'm personally quite curious about this one as well. As AI continues to evolve, we are already seeing many jobs being replaced by it. In the future, will there still be jobs that only humans can do?
I think there are going to be many jobs humans can do, and also jobs evolve as well. Again, just a little more than 100 years ago, almost more than 80% of humanity are farmers. And we look at today that less than 10% of population in the United States are farmers. So the jobs have shifted massively. We have seen that jobs have more or less evolved and disappeared. But we also have seen many more jobs being created. So, for example, software engineering is a great example. Just half a century ago, 50 years ago, the job of software engineering doesn't exist. But today, software engineering is one of the most highly paid and great jobs. Of course, AI is also changing software engineering. But my point is that jobs will be shifted. And also sometimes what is, how a job, for example, a teacher, I don't think teaching will ever go away. Humans are learning animals and little humans and needs to learn from grown-up humans. And we also should be doing lifelong learning. But there are new tools to learn. And there's new ways that teachers can teach, and this will be shifting. And so I think that we're going to see a very interesting period of time where some jobs are going to shrink, some jobs are going to evolve, and some new jobs are going to also emerge.
The speed of AI development today is outpacing our existing legal, ethical, and educational systems. In such a time, what does it truly mean to prepare for the future? And is there any way to mitigate these challenges?
I think part of today's responsibility for institutions and governments is actually effective public education and communication of AI. There is a lot of anxiety about AI in our society. A lot of that anxiety comes from it's so new. So many people have not been properly communicated or educated about what AI is, and then it's impacting jobs, it's impacting education, and also it's also contains some ethical issues, and it challenges social behaviors, including democratic process. All this creates anxiety, and I think it's very important that we rapidly invest in the communication and education of the public of what AI is, and also for government to work closely with companies and the public sector and higher education to work on good guardrails and regulatory policy about AI. These are all important efforts.
Among the pre-submitted questions, the most frequently asked topic was education in the age of AI. Professor, in your view, what direction should education take in the future? And what do you think needs to change the most?
I'm actually most excited by education in AI. I think this is a huge opportunity for humanity to update and improve our educational framework. For the past 100 years, our education framework hasn't changed much. Little children come to school and try to and be fed of most of these things are memorable knowledges, and then be tested on memory, and then they advance their level through these kind of testing. Now that we have powerful AI that can be at our fingertip to provide so much knowledge, we should really think about how we can update our educational system so our kids are not just learning knowledge, but learning how to learn, learning about creativity, learning about using tools in the most effective way, and learning for future jobs. So I think there is a lot of opportunity for education, both for the teachers as well as for the students.
그렇다면 AI 시대를 살아가는
Let me
개인들이
move on to the
어떤
next question
자세로
then.
AI에 참여해야 한다고 보시는지도
What kind of
궁금합니다.
attitude should we have in the future, in the age of
I
AI?
think it's really exciting time that we're alive in the moment that humanity has created AI. I think the most important idea I want to share is everybody can participate in AI. Whether you're an artist, a musician, a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, an athlete, a mathematician, a computer scientist, an engineer, an entrepreneur. A lot of people ask me, if I don't have a computer science or engineering degree, am I being left out of AI? I don't think so. There are many ways you can participate and influence AI. First of all, you can be a user of AI. There are many, many AI applications that can increase your productivity and make your life better. And that is useful for any citizen of the world today to learn about those tools. Second is that in your daily work, try to leverage AI to make yourself more productive, because that's where the future is going, and that prepares you for the future. And also, as a citizen of Korea and of your society, you have a voice in governing AI, in making AI benevolent to all people. And that voice is very important, whether you're an artist or a lawyer or a doctor. So you can participate in that civil discourse and democratic process of the governance. So I just want to say that everybody has a role and everybody has a responsibility in AI.
네, 교수님 앞으로의 계획은
Professor,
어떻게
could you share
되시는지
what your
여쭤봐도
upcoming
될까요?
plans are?
I am very passionate about spatial intelligence, robotic simulation, robotic learning, and computer vision. I'm very focused on building these technology right now.
AI의 미래와 인간에 대한 깊이 있는 통찰.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights and for your message to the Korean audience, which is hugely inspiring. Could you share your last word with our audience?
Thank you very much. I very much enjoy all the questions, and I definitely look forward to continue to collaborate with students, researchers, colleagues, entrepreneurs, business leaders in Korea and from Korea, and I hope to visit in the future.
네, 이상 페이페이 리
Thank you, Professor
교수님에게
Fei-Fei
듣는
Li.
넥스트 AI 세션은
That concludes our session. Next AI with Professor Fei-Fei Li. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.